Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Hyperfence. Today again with another part of the partner series, and today with me is Howard from DataON. And Howard, maybe you can introduce yourself and DataON for the people who don't know you, which is nearly impossible, but just for the few ones left.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Flo, for the opportunity to talk to your audience. My name is Howard Lowe. I'm from DataON. DataON is a Microsoft partner. DataON is a OEM of Microsoft, but more importantly, DataON is a hypercloud vendor that help our customers to be on this hybrid cloud journey with Microsoft, especially the hybrid cloud infrastructure that Microsoft has developed with Azure Stack HCI.
Amazing. And as you already said, you're one of our strongest hybrid cloud partners. And what I really enjoyed seeing is that you jumped on a thought one of my colleagues had a few years ago. Maybe some people still remember the Kepler-47 systems. So the Kepler-47 system, you will definitely remember that one. We will say why in a few minutes. But the Kepler-47 system was a thought Cosmos had a few years ago on, especially for partners, for guys like us who like to play with hardware, travel around and present on conferences, to have an storage spaces direct, now Azure Stack HCI cluster, in your flight case, in your hand luggage, and more or less carrying it around with you. And that was the first thought of Cosmos. It was using Thunderbolt networking drivers, which were not available for general public. We got that, I think, 2 years later with the Thunderbolt 3 integration. And he used some boxes which are not available outside of the US. So I tried to build more or less his systems that wasn't, for a European guy, it wasn't possible, to be honest. But then you showed up for some reason, and you built the Kepler-47 G2. So do you want to just, I know we have bad news at the end, but maybe can you just share a bit with the audience why you jumped on that Kepler topic?
Yeah, first of all, there's always a light in the tunnel, so there's never bad news. There's always potentially good news in the future. So,
I would
the
still
idea.
try to convince you to.
I think as more people come in, we will definitely evaluate. I think the idea from Cosmo was ingenious. When I spoke to Cosmo and when he alluded to me what he's thinking about, a very, very portable, something you could carry, a two-node solution that you could really showcase to a different part and carry on to a airplane. It was a great idea. Why? Because we were talking to many customer and many customers want to see the infrastructure, the hardware, they want to touch it. And I can't be carrying a 60-pound 2U rack server to you and put it on a airplane. It doesn't work that way. So the idea was ingenious. And when he brought it to us, DataON being a very committed Microsoft partner, jumped on the idea. We jumped on it. We said, hey, I think it's possible that we could build a form factor that's very portable, that's very compact, that you could actually fit into your luggage and take it with you. And that's how we went on and engaged with many of our manufacturing partner in Asia and to understand, can you build this solution? And ultimately, we built it, and we actually have many, many, many PLCs with a lot of customer to validate the viability of solution. And the feedback was definitely good, but with some areas that we need to improve. So that's kind of where we got into the foray of Kepler-47. Really is offering a portable, easy to carry, but really a robust solution that provides HA, high availability. right? In a setting that where you could have the capability of S2D, this is already an old term, storage spaces direct, 2 nodes, but deliver the resiliency, T-way mirror, deliver the network capability, deliver ability to have flash storage and CPU in that form factor. I thought the idea was awesome. I thought the product was great, but we have to continue to evaluate what is the right solution for our customer.
And as we already mentioned, you're keeping the Kepler-47 brand, but as I have the page still open, as I understood you correct, you will maybe not continue the form factor we have for the moment with the G2s.
Yeah, the Kepler 2-node idea was great. I think the fact that, as many of you should know, it came from the star, with two star, the Kepler's 2 stars. So having a 2-node solution that is switchless, connect back to back, was a great idea for a lot of applications. Applications such as the edge, where you're on edge A, applications such as manufacturing plant, retails, where you want high availability, but still deliver the performance power of HCI. We feel really the 2-node Kepler 2-node switchless is a great idea, and hence we continue that family of product with our current solution with Kepler 2-node K2N and Kepler 3-node switchless, which is what is supported by Microsoft, because you have the ability to have a fabric without having a switch, connect, match together, and really deliver the resiliency, performance, and availability that customer want. So we definitely continue the Kepler 2-node, 3-node concept, but that specific form factor was something that we found there were some areas we need to improve, and we'll continue to evaluate. We have EOL, the current Kepler-47 G2 product, even though we have a lot of POC, but at this time, we're definitely evaluating how to bring that back, but today it is EOL.
Okay. Sad to hear. But yeah, I understand it's in the edge, we are also seeing more and more 1U units. I'm working a lot with retailers, and yeah, definitely with you. And not every one of us is so crazy carrying 2-node clusters in his hand luggage. I would. But Howard, more important, as I learned from DataON, I was still at Dell. It was around 2012, 2011, and you were a bit competitive when we talk about storage. So they were pretty much afraid of EMC, HP, and DataON on the storage booth. What was your journey? So you're now a committed hybrid partner. You're now committed on HCI and the whole hybrid journey. You have the validated and integrated systems. So you're all in on hybrid. So what was the decision to move away is maybe not correct, but focus on hyper-converged and hybrid integration?
It's a really good question. Let me show just one slide to kind of articulate kind of who we are. For those people who does not know DataON, I think it's good to have a understanding of kind of who we are a little bit. This is a slide deck that I use for all my customer engagement presentation, for them to get a good sense of who we are and what we do. And I won't go through all of them, but I think the first slide really articulate what we're about. We're about helping customer on this journey, because we understand every customer is different. Whether or not you're a medium enterprise, small medium enterprise, or even large corporate, Fortune 500, you can't make that decision and pivot too fast. It's a process you have to go through. So we always tell the customer, we like to be on that journey with you, and that journey is the hybrid cloud journey with Microsoft Azure Stack HCI. But in that journey, we really want to help you modernize your infrastructure, your IT, but more importantly, we want to modernize that with all the innovations that Microsoft is bringing to the picture, especially the hybrid cloud innovation. So that's very important to understand that we understand that it takes time and we want to be on that journey with you together. Another important slide for me to share is really who we are. As a company, DataON was actually founded in 1987, 35 years ago, more than that. Let me see, 30, 90, that's 37 years ago, right? But what does that mean? We have technology DNA at heart as a company, right? Same company, same parent company for 37 years. However, in 2012, when Microsoft introduced the first iteration of storage spaces, which everybody should know, DataON made a decision. We made a decision that we will focus on this technology. We are all in. All in means engineering time, R&D time, product time, customer engagement. We're all in. We become a pure Microsoft, exclusive Microsoft partner, right? That's very important to know because we know this technology since 2012 and how the technology continued to innovate across these years. At the same time, they don't understand, there's a lot of great server vendor out there that's delivering technology. As you mentioned earlier, Dell, and Lenovo, HP, they're all great vendor. I think they make great server product. So for us to make sure we had that standard, we went out to our partner that we've been around 30 years, which is Intel. We said, Intel, you guys build white box servers. You guys know how to build servers, right? So we want to take your server, complete server, we call it L9. That includes the chassis, the CPU, the memory, the SSD, the network, the power supply, the motherboard, the whole thing. We just want you to build a server. Our job is to take those iteration and go through the value on top of it, the validation, the certification, the testing, the interoperability to make sure that we could innovate on top a very great platform called Intel. And that's how we really took the software aspect of Microsoft, the hardware infrastructure of Intel, and built an entire HCI solution. But more importantly, we want to differentiate. Our differentiation really is ability for us to have our own software to help you monitor and manage the infrastructure. But more importantly, to give you choices. We want to test various configurations, a hybrid, all flash, a 2-node, a 3-node switchless. So you have a choice. All these are validation we tested to ensure that it's the right solution. So if you go to the Microsoft Azure Stack catalog today, you'll see that DataON has the most validated certified solution offering out there in the catalog because we've done all those tests. We know you cannot have one thing in a box, right?
Yeah.
But more importantly, as we continue to innovate with Microsoft, which is the last question you kind of alluded to, we'll talk a little bit more, is the fact that we understand it's all about hybrid cloud. It's all about, can you take advantage of all the innovation that Microsoft Azure has done in the cloud and bring it to you on premise? If that's part of your journey, if you're not ready 100% into the cloud, you're 50% in, but you still could take advantage of all the hybrid cloud innovation. That's why DataON continue down the path with Microsoft to bring value, to add capability to our engineer, to our professional service team, to deliver not just the infrastructure, but help the customer run hybrid workloads on your Azure Stack HCI in a hybrid cloud platform. That is a journey we came, and that's a journey we'll continue to do with our partner, Microsoft, Intel, and with our enterprise customers.
And you mentioned Intel as your technology provider. As we know, Intel moved away from the server market or handed it over to one of their to others. I think Asus or someone took over the servers. How did you as DataON react on that? As you're an exclusive Intel partner, I think it has high impact on your business. How did you react on that specific, let's say, apocalypse?
Yeah, I think ultimately it was the right thing for Intel to do to get out to the inventory market. What Intel is good is at innovation, design, architecture to make sure they develop the best platform, server platform in the marketplace. They don't want to be in the business of carrying NVMe inventory, carrying a chassis inventory, but they want to build the best design to use the right chassis, the right thermal, the right motherboard. So what they did is, like they did for NUC, as you saw, they got rid of the NUC business, the Flash, Optane business. They're trying to focus on really technology innovation and manufacturing, right? That's kind of where Intel's going. And being an Intel partner, we continue to work with them. And I'm on the board director for Intel for their channel board, right? So I know all the innovation they're doing. So when they shifted and move away from, they let us know. They go, hey, Intel is still your go-to partner, but what we'll do is we will shift the manufacturing of the server to a long-time partner, Mytek. Believe it or not, Mytek has been a 10-year partner for Intel manufacturing their server. Even though it was Intel branded, Mytek was the manufacturer behind Intel, just like other people like Inventec, Quanta manufacture Dell and HP. Similar, right? Very similar.
Or Foxconn, who
Or Foxconn doing it for other people.
Yeah,
or Wistrom. Yeah,
it's
that's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So there is a saying with or there was a saying within Dell. On a Foxconn fab, you have 4 doors. One is for Dell, the other one is for HP,
Yep.
or for HP that time. The third one is for Apple, and
Yep.
the fourth one is for the rest.
Yes, you got it right. It's really the engineering effort. Let the manufacturer be really good at manufacturing the technology. So when Intel made a decision, they go, hey, the innovation is still there. Mytek will become the manufacturer of our server, but the design that we did today for Xeon Gen 4 and beyond, we already provided that and transferred the entire IP to Mytek. And the server that's actually being manufactured, they cannot deviate from it because the server today we procure through Mytek is still Intel branded server because Intel stand behind the design, the technology, the innovation, and everything they did. All Mytek's doing is doing the fulfillment, procurement of the server. So we still absolutely believe this is the Intel server, except the manufacturer is Mytek. We give the PO to them, but we engage with Intel on a regular basis to make sure the innovation that they commit to partner like us continue to go into the manufacturing side of it. So, if you look at a server for the next 2 years, just like how Intel sold the SSD business, is still Intel branded because Intel believe and stand behind the technology, the platform they develop, design, and now it's just a different manufacturing fulfilling it.
So more or less, correct me if I'm wrong, Intel shifted its business from being the OEM more to the ODM, so origin design manufacturer, and the partners or the production partners like Mytek are staying being the now original OEMs.
That's right. Them. Right. So really, Intel really stopped being the design partner and making sure everything is optimized for the technology. Again, I want to emphasize, Mytek has been the ODM partner of Intel for 10 years. So every system we bought for the last 10 years was ODM by Mytek. Now they just became a fulfillment partner with Intel Design.
Okay. So I think that I had a lot of that's why I'm asking the question. I had a lot of discussions with some other partners who are using Intel white box systems, and they were a bit concerned about should they continue with the Intel white boxes or should they shift to another OEM partner like Dell, HP, Lenovo. And I think that it also gives some clearance to the audience here so that Intel is not moving away. It's still Intel design. But everyone who is on the Intel train or who's worked with Intel before can still use, but now the manufacturer is named. It's no longer an unnamed manufacturer. It's now Mytek with designed by Intel, like Microsoft Azure servers are open compute. So our systems are a whole open compute, and normally everyone could build it. And we have our OEMs, so we have a few OEMs in our data center who building our servers for Azure after our design. Or for network cards, same.
You're absolutely correct. And I think I want to add something is the fact that, when I talk to customer, I always say the word positively. I treat the server, as long as it meets a certain standard level, like the Intel, the Dell, the HP, to me is a commodity, right? Why? At the end of the day, DataON is taking this to do the certification, validation, testing, continuous testing. We're the one taking responsibility. Intel, before becoming Azure Stack HCI, it's just Intel because they don't do certification, they don't do testing. We're the one that put all the engineering effort in to make sure all the validation testing, the interoperability works. Then we are our engineering value on top of it with our monitoring, management, deployment, automation, all that software we do and all the PowerShell we do to make sure you become a integrated system and validated solution for Azure Stack HCI. Because at the end of the day, customer buy because they see the DataON brand. I spoke to so many customers, right? They go, hey, we knew you were using Intel. Regardless who you use, as long as the quality is there, we believe in the DataON brand. We believe that you're the one delivering the brand equity, the value, the services support. We trust you. So DataON, we're not worried about it. We still continue with our customer, no issue to us.
Yeah. And as you said, the validation process, you have the most integrated validation system and configuration, which is amazing. And I really like your systems to be honest. And I know how hard it is for our OEM partners to validate and their systems or to have them in the catalog. It's just pain in the maybe also for you, I will there will be a video on the channel with Helmut Otto from SecureGuard, who's
I know him very well.
Yeah, we all know Helmut, so he's one of
a
those
lot of
guys.
Good alcohol, a lot of good beer with him. I love it.
Yeah, and he always pays.
Yes.
And then really there will be a video with him talking about really that specific topic on how what a partner needs to do to validate, and it's with the tooling we have. Being here on my private channel, I can say it's horrible, and you went a lot of efforts, and especially with 23H2 coming and all the now SB driver packages coming from Windows Update. There is a lot more for the partners to do to combine their packages for their specific HCI service to deliver the correct drivers, firmware, etc. through the Microsoft Update process and stay validated for the 23H2. So, and having that with so many configurations, I really see your engineering effort. When I talk to the other partners, there's still a lot of hardware configuration, but it's mostly the same cards. They have a few validated deployment designs, and it's really the value you're putting in here. And that one question I have is, I know how to order DataON in the US. I'm a bit, because I saw a lot of your customers over there. For me in EMEA, I don't have much DataON customers, to be honest. So for the people in EMEA or Asia, how can they contact DataON? How can they get engaged with your teams to discuss solutions, to get a BOM or just a price, some kind of pricing?
Yeah. Let me answer your first question. I think it's important to know that being a committed Microsoft partner to deliver an integrated solution, it requires a lot of engineering resources. We have an engineering team that all they do is test and validation, write code. We do develop our own code here to ensure that everything's tested. Remember, when you have 30, 40 SKUs, you have to make sure every single SKU actually works. So there's a lot of engineering effort I put in to make sure it's certified and validate. And our team has been doing this since 2012 R2. So they know their trade very well.
Yeah.
To answer a second question, we love EMEA customers. What we have done is we have worked with our very close, really, I see extension data on our premium partner and the only partner in Europe to help us deliver the solution, which is Access, based in the Netherlands. So Access is our premium partner for Europe. We have actually deployed quite a bit of deployment in the Netherlands, in the Nordics, and in Germany. Right, that's where we have been penetrating quite well. And Access is actually have a office in Germany as well to service the German market. So we've been growing the European market, and we've been trying to continue to work with a partner to go to end user directly. As a company, we have found that we need to grow faster and bigger before we start doing recruiting a channel, because it takes a lot of effort to help the customer, and we don't want to lose that white glove service that DataON is known for. DataON in the industry is known for white glove, meaning that we are there with you 24/7, 7 days a week for the next 3, 5, 7 years. Even you're out of warranty, DataON support you. That's how DataON is known for. Now, we want to make sure not only are we delivering the right solution for you, you will be supported by DataON and our partner Access, based in the Netherlands, as a single point of contact. We take responsibility for the solution, the hardware, the software, the network, the switches, everything. We believe we should know the technology well enough to support a customer. That's why we try to be very cautious in our expansion. Access been expanding as fast as they can in Europe. We don't have any presence in Asia. And it was not because we don't want to. There's a lot of inquiry in Asia to want to buy DataON solution. We just don't have a local presence. And we felt that we cannot deliver the service we want if we don't have an office there. Hopefully in the future. Remember, I lived in Asia for a long time. I did business Asia for all my life before coming to DataON. So I know Asia very well. However, I do know if you want to deliver the right support services, you got to have local presence, and we will get there eventually.
Yeah. And that's really what I like as a strong point. Say, okay, we're not going with in every corner of the globe or with any partner, because we want to focus. We want to give full service. We want to be the best when we deliver. We don't want to have an escalation which ends up with the FastTrack team for some reason, because we don't have a clue of what we're doing. And that's, even if you're not that big like the others, it's really these making everything great. And that's what I really like on the DataON approach. Don't do too much, just take on what you can take on and be strong and be there.
And more importantly, we grow within, right?
Yeah.
You know, we bring a lot of fresh, and this is kind of insight into how DataON grow. We bring college graduate engineers onto it. They learn about the technology as they grow, and everybody here is within. Our turnover is very low. As you grow 2 to 3 years, you become an engineer senior. Now the manager of this support engineer now became the hybrid cloud engineer. Why? They know the infrastructure. Now they're going to do the hybrid services. So all these people has gone through the entire, I always use, when I talk to customer, I always say, don't think everything is rosy. I have been up so many late nights at Saturday at 1 a.m. where a cluster went down, a drive went down. I get a call from the VP, the president, CIO said, Howard, what's happening? I'm on the call trying to help them. Microsoft's not perfect. They're great. They're not perfect. There's always bugs. And there's always someone accidentally pull a plug or something. They did a pause without draining the nodes. Anything can happen where the cluster volume goes down, where we had to come in and help. But you got to have a team that when you're on there, when the customer is stressing out, they actually know what's going on. It's not about, hey, it's her hardware. No, it's a solution. That's what DataON believe. To deliver a solution, not only are you bringing the best infrastructure hardware that's the right design, but you gotta have the knowledge on the software solution side of it to help the customer, right? If it's a VM issue, you should know the VM. It's a network issue, you should know network. It's a volume issue, you should know the volume. You should know every aspect about Azure Stack HCI, which has storage spaces direct. It has software-defined networking. It has Hyper-V virtualization. You got to know those technology to help the customer right there at 1 a.m. And we believe that's what differentiates DataON from many of the vendors. All these vendors are awesome. I always tell the customer, hey, all these OEM vendors are so good. They have the best server. But if you look at DataON, we have a group of engineers sitting right here in Anaheim, California, that knows as much as Microsoft.
Yeah,
That's key.
and what we should say is, because you know as much as Microsoft on the solution, and you already said I think you could call Cosmos on his private mobile 24 hours and he would answer. That's how I know the relation between DataON engineers or DataON is special and our product, which is yep, there's something. Come on the call, please.
Cosmos is too famous now. I don't want to bother Cosmos. I think he has a lot of stuff to worry about. I think one great thing about Microsoft and the relationship we have done in the last 12 years is we have built a great trust with the Microsoft product team, where if we can escalate and get support to answer question and the customer really are in urgent, we have the ability to send an email to the right PM. I'll give you an example, and I won't name names. Like today, we're talking about hybrid services, and one of the customers says, "I want to use a vendor that has a hybrid. How can we convert the VM to Arc VM, then restore into the backup into the cloud?" It's like, I don't understand even what that means, but our director of engineering. Yeah, I know the engineering director that knows, and he actually engaged with the PM. He go, "Oh, you could do it this way, but the features coming in the roadmap." There's no commitment, but right away the customer go, "Wow, you actually know what's going on. You actually know that it's not supported, which you're honest about it, but Microsoft is evaluating it." That to the customer is huge, right? So we try our best to educate them to be that conduit for them to learn the technology more broadly across the board.
Yeah, and I said you're one of those few partners with that engagement to the product groups. So for me, doing that on a day-to-day basis in my daily job, it's like normally I'm the person who's working on that level, and there are only a few partners, or even only a few MVPs. So Microsoft Most Valuable Professionals who have that relationship to the product groups and know all those people. Even for me as a Microsoft employee, I know the guy who you were talking about because I talked to him a few weeks ago, but it took me another few weeks to find his name. And with all these people changing, and you need to have that relationship, and
we appreciate it. We don't want to abuse it. We only show our appreciation when a customer needs it, and to me, it's all customer driven.
Yeah, but it's not when customer needs. It's also the feedback you give to us from a product perspective, like we have with other partners like Accutech, where I see a lot of DataON and Accutech requests in the pipeline, in the roadmap. We say, okay, that are really engaged partners. They are not only saying everything is a mess. They say, okay, that point is a mess, but let's talk about how we can solve it. And for me, from the engineering part of Microsoft, that's so important, working with partners like you to say, okay, I need those partners giving me feedback, but already coming with, I have an idea. Let's maybe that could be a solution. Let's fiddle around at that end and on the other end, and then it could work. With that said, it was amazing to have you here introducing DataON, discussing a bit about Kepler, and I would definitely link the channel partner access to within the subscription within the description.
Great.
Link everything to a DataON. I would also put your LinkedIn profile on the description. So would be amazing to talk to you again, if possible.
Thank you for the opportunity. This is a great conversation, and anybody who want to reach out to me, just email me. I don't sleep. I work 24/7. I'm always talking to customer. So you can reach me anytime you want.
I see you on LinkedIn. You're always busy or green. I think you're also charging on a wall plug, right?
Yeah. It's amazing journey, and I love what I do, and DataON continue to be successful because of Microsoft, because your innovation. Microsoft, please continue innovation. We not only want to deliver a great solution, we want to deliver a great solution for the customer that they could trust, they could believe, because they're running to production workload. I think I will leave with one quote. 8 years ago when I joined DataON, the owner asked me to help continue to grow the company and run the company. And the first deal I closed was a very big deal. And I asked the customer, why did you choose me? Why did you choose DataON? We don't even know us. You're a big IBM shop. They go, we chose you because of who you are. However, if we fail, and they say we, then I lose my job. At that second, I realized, my gosh, a lot of admin's job is on the line. So when I talk to customer, you better be darn serious and honest about what you're delivering, because their job is on the line. They're running production workload. Don't bullshit. Don't try to be a salesman. Be a consultant. Be a partner. To make sure you will be there for them 24/7. I think we work as a company under that mantra ever since then, and that's why we continue to be successful who we are.
There's one thing I would really need to mention here at that point. Coming from partners, working at customers, and also working, especially I saw that when I was more into networking and wide area networks. What I learned for myself is I need to choose my partners from a size that matches the size of my company. If I'm a small shop, no big vendor cares about me. But if I choose someone in the mid-range who has a similar size like myself, I would be a great customer. I would be a great partner. I would get a white glove service, because basically the sales scorecard matches to what I can deliver. And when I see, again, we are on the open channel, if I'm a small 15 people company buying 2 servers for the next 5 years, they'll even don't care. Too small. But when I go to DataON Prime 9, so the smaller integration partners, they are totally fine, because that's part of major business.
Absolutely.
DataON maybe a bit larger here, but it's really.
I think the key is we do know who we service. I don't try to go after Walmart. I don't try to go after BP oil. It's just not who we are. But I'm very comfortable talking to Energizer Battery. I'm very comfortable talking to regional banks. I'm very comfortable talking to regional medical center that needs multiple cluster, HA, high availability, stretch cluster networking, and multiple sites. I'm very comfortable. And we scale down and we treat every single customer as though they're the customer. So I do believe that that's kind of our mantra, and we'll continue that as we grow.
Perfect. With that, let us close for today. Thank you so much for being here talking to me. And also to mention, you have an amazing channel with a lot of knowledge and IP to leverage. I'm using a lot of your videos too for my customers, to be honest. I will link that one too. Thank you, Howard. And
thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to our conversation again.
Have a great day over there in hopefully sunny California, and see you on the next call.
Will do. Talk to you soon.
Bye.